What's wrong with this picture? It's actually pretty sad when you think children die every day because they don't have enough clean water available. Water is essential for plant life, but it certainly doesn't need the amounts that some people seem to think. Unless you're trying to get seed to germinate, everyday light watering is a no-no. Depending on your soil texture, all that does is moisten the top inch or two, so the roots don't have to go anywhere for their water. Training the roots to go deep into the soil for water and nutrients is a necessity for successful turf. The longer the roots, the healthier the plant. Roots have more contact area with soil when they're enabled to grow, so more chance to absorb nutrients and allow biology to do their job. When the heat of the summer arrives and the lawn begins to deal with stress periods, it's also able to survive and still grow well because the roots are deep into the ground where it's still moist. Do you know what does like light, frequent water? Weeds do. Cutting the lawn short and everyday watering patterns is exactly what a weed wants. Frequent watering is also an invite for disease and non-beneficial insects. For established lawns, 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week is all you should be giving your lawn, and that application is done in a short amount of time. This doesn't mean on top of the water you receive from nature. Depending where you live, you may only occasionally need to supplement the amount of water. The optimum way to apply it is to water the lawn 1/2 inch, let it soak in for a little bit, and then apply the remaining inch. Absorption is better if applied to moist soil surface instead of a dry one. The greater the amount of organic matter in the soil, the better the soil retains the water. This is especially true on a hilly surface. For example, on a 20% grade, only 15% of the water gets absorbed during a rainstorm. The rest is runoff, causing erosion, and if you use chemicals, it goes into the sewer system and pollutes. If you could find a way to collect enough rainwater and disperse it, that's great. In a 1-inch rainstorm, 600 gallons comes off a 1,000 square foot roof area. If everyone could harvest rain to use in their landscape instead of using good drinking water, our future would be much brighter. A good way to measure the amount of water using a sprinkler is to lay a few small pans out in a row from the sprinkler head out. Time it, and then wait and see how long it takes to reach that 1 inch. Then you'll know how long to leave the sprinkler on. Once you know how long to leave it on, if you use a hose and a lawn sprinkler, buy a timer. They're cheap enough. If you use an irrigation system, adjust the settings or get someone to do it for you. If you have a rain gauge, make sure it's working correctly. In long drought periods, if you want to increase your water usage to every 4 to 5 days, that's fine. Sandy soils sometimes require more light, frequent watering as opposed to clay soils, which need it less often. Use your own judgment. If you're leaving footprints in the lawn after you walk on it, or it becomes to have that slight shade of purple, you'll know it's time to water. With cool season turf, it's a natural process to go into dormancy in the middle of summer. Don't panic, your lawn isn't dead. It's better to let it take its natural course instead of forcing it out of dormancy and then allowing it to go back in again. The best time to water your lawn is in the morning, before the sun has a chance to evaporate it. Train the roots to grow deep. You're the boss. You'll be glad, especially if a water ban is imposed and your lawn is the only green one in the neighborhood. But most important, it's the responsible thing to do.